Oh my god, what an unbelievable grand slam by Kimi Antonelli. To think that it's just a 19-year-old kid doing such things in Formula One, that too in his second season. Oh my god, this is truly a generational talent in the making. I mean, I predicted for the Ferrari to make a big splash over here. I predicted that Ferrari would dominate everything over here from pole to the win, but I mean, they were pretty good in the free practice sessions, FP1 through FP3, but I don't know, somewhere in the qualifying segment, they lost their space, they lost their pace a lot, and it was all downhill from there. I mean, I predicted Hamilton to be on pole, to be in fact, but Kimi Antonelli, what an unbelievable lap! Him and Max Verstappen really outdrove the car because they were really quick over here, and it's Monaco. It's all about qualifying. Whoever gets pole will always be with the winner over here. The last time that the pole person who did not win was way back in 2003 or 2, if I'm not wrong, where in turn 1 lead 1, whoever leads into turn 1 is probably gonna be the winner. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli did a generational lap over here, followed by Max Verstappen in a close second, and the Ferraris were stuck to a P3 as well as P4. And my god, how has the mighty fallen? I mean, George Russell, for a guy who won the opening calendar in Australia, I mean, from China to Japan through Canada and now in Monaco, his form has been really terrible. I mean, this is not the Russell that we expected to turn up in Monaco, and I mean he has had his bad luck. I would give him that credit, but this was not what I expected at all from a guy who has like 7 to 8 years in Formula One by now at this point, and is losing a championship to a rookie, mind you, a rookie who is only in his second year in Formula One. I mean, that is something that is really baffling to me. Now, coming to the main race. Oh my god, we have loads to talk about that. Lap 1, turn 1, I mean, Max Verstappen, he was also complaining during his formation lap that the car is not working pretty well. There's a lot of problems going on, and Kimi Antonelli just breaks off the line. He just quickly went past, and Max Verstappen could not even get the car moving. It seemed as though the car was stuck in a little bit of gear or sorts. So he fell back quite bad, and then he was literally overtaken by the entire grid, and he was like stuck way back in like sector 1 whereas everybody was already in sector 2 or sometimes sector 3. I mean, Kimi Antonelli really showed rapid pace around here. He did not, back up the pack or anything. He just drove his race clean, calm, cool, and composed. I mean, once Max Verstappen and I guess some faulty thing they found out, and he just went back to the pits and never came back. So he DNF'd. So nothing much happened. Gasly made an excellent overtake across Lando. So Lando was pretty much stuck behind Gasly for the entirety of the race. And it's Monaco. If you're stuck behind a car, you cannot overtake, and that built up a huge margin to the leaders up front. It was the same thing with Russell as well, because he was held up by Hadjar, who was also having the similar problems that Max Verstappen was having. But it's Monaco. You can't overtake possible. So he was also stuck behind Hadjar. But apart from that, what else to say? The Ferraris showed real no pace. I mean, Hamilton looked really composed. He was pretty much comfortable in his P2 position, whereas Leclerc his form this season has been pretty much up and down for the past 2 races. I mean, I guess there were things that Hamilton was talking about regarding his braking, that he had to switch to a new braking, and even Leclerc commented post the race that even he's going to try whatever Hamilton is trying and see if that works out. But Leclerc had a pretty abysmal race. He crashed in qualifying. He finished up in P4, and then during the race he was nowhere on the pace of Hamilton, and right when everything was all settled down, Stroll goes in, crashes, but that causes a safety car. Then again, Leclerc on the restart lap crashes again, and that causes a red flag. And the tarmac at the, I guess at the just before the final chicane was really strapped up, and that caused an entire heap of investigations. And oh yeah, oh my God, coming to the penalties, how many people had been given a 5 second penalty for speeding in the pit lane? I've lost count because if I see the onboard of every camera, like the standings, everybody had an red asterisk mark right up their name, because everybody was, almost everybody, like half the grid were caught for speeding in the pit lane. And even they were like, pretty surprised, because they had you put their car in this in the proper window for speeding. But I'm not so sure what happened, because they were found to be speeding the pit lane by 0.1 kilometers per hour, and that's very marginal. But speeding in the pit lane, it's like hit or miss. It's like very objectively, it's either yes or no. So I guess they got a penalty for that. But I guess a lot of people were caught because they were cutting the curbs. So the way the speeding pit lane is measured is because they measure it between the segments of the pit lane, hence why this issue was caused. And many of the drivers were not very aware of the situation, and even though they were aware, they were not very had practiced that enough, and that's what caused a lot of crisis over there. But moving on from that, Russell got a 5 second penalty, which he was supposed to serve under the safety car. But I don't know, Mercedes told him to stay out, but he had come into the pits anyway, so they were pretty much confused. And they could have served his 5 second penalty right then and there. But I don't know, one of the mechanics touched the car, which led to him not serving the penalty, which he came back out, and then the session was red flagged. So for him not serving the penalty, he was given another drive-through penalty. And during the last 10 laps of the race, getting such a penalty is like making a pit stop for the entire field. And that's what happened. He tried to back up the pack as much as possible during the race restart. Because he was going like 4 to 5 seconds slower in sector 1, whereas Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli checked out checked out from the restart. I thought Hamilton would get a good run down into turn 1, but Kimi Antonelli was pretty much in his safety, because even the Mercedes fired up pretty quickly after the lights went out. So there were two checked out in front, and Russell was backing up the pack very massively, that it caused a lot of collisions behind, particularly Hülkenberg as well as Sainz. And then Colapinto crashed into I believe it was Colapinto crashed into Sainz, which took him out of the race. And for Russell backing up the pack, Hülkenberg crashing into Sainz, Hülkenberg was given a 10-second penalty, so another penalty down his side. And some of the very weird things that happened was that Sergio Perez was caught for a starting procedure infringement at the grid. I guess he was out of his pit box and out of his starting box, for which he received another 10-second penalty, which dropped him from what would have been Cadillac's first ever points finish and Perez's first ever points finish in this season. But if you want to win one, you gotta lose one, which eventually ended up being Aston Martin as well as Alonso's first ever points during this season. They'll definitely take that. So that's it. That's the entire Grand Prix. And Hadjar finished up in P3 because Gasly had a 10-second penalty. But I'm recording this now very late. I just saw a message pop up from the FIA that Gasly's penalties have been reversed and he's been given the P3 post. So congratulations, I'd say, for Gasly. Bit unfortunate for Hadjar, but that's what Formula 1 is all about. Yep. So see you in the next one, guys.